It's time to play the show. The bell has rung, and that big show might be over. But it's time for us to bring wrestling information you can enjoy with the match predictions, analysis, the ups and downs of professional wrestling, all reaction, some beverage drinking to bring you logic on tap with your good brothers. It's time for you to look into the eyes of Howard Blues and the Mark Kidder on Beer, Blues, and BS.
And one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special wrestling review edition of Beer, Blues, and BS. That's right. Kidder and I are coming to you live as we sit down to analyze WWE Crown Jewel. I'm your host, Howard Blues, here, as always, with my co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the Mark Kidder. Kidder, how you doing tonight?
You know, Howard Blues, I'm not too bad. Aside from, well, watching the old premium live event earlier today and getting you ready to roll with this and technology. So I know that it's now 9:18, but we're here. We're going to make it something, make it worthwhile, I guess, and do what we can to have ourselves a little bit of a good time, as it were. Are you ready?
I mean, I am as ready as I are gonna be. I got a small cat nap in because I was putting Junior down for bed, and I may have fallen asleep before he did. And
Okay.
Lefty had to come and wake me up and like, hey, you have a show. I'm like, oh, yeah. So I'm refreshed, Kidder. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fine. I think we're gonna have a good show tonight.
It's not like, any other of the normal shows, so that's good.
Yeah. And I guess, Kidder, we should hop right to it and, of course, do everybody's favorite segment that we do on every show, and that is What's on Tap. Kidder, what you having tonight?
Oh, well, here I am just posting to hopefully get more people to watch and subscribe. Of course, if you are joining us, thank you. And hit the sub button there, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. We absolutely appreciate it. And, hey, if you want to subscribe and help keep the show going and quench the thirst of a couple of, thirsty podcast hosts, please subscribe. It's right there, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs. It would be awesome if you would. So let's get in to the fridge here, Triple B Beer Fridge. And I figure it's a good time to go to the Spatzel Brewing Company with a little bit of a Shiner Bock tonight. Had this in the fridge a little bit and might as well have it tonight. So we got the Shiner. Enjoy it. And it says nothing's finer than a Shiner. I've had this on the show before, but again, for those of you joining us and have not yet seen me have this or seen Howard have this, it's Spatzel Brewing Company in Shiner, Texas. Serve cold and often. It's 12 fluid ounces, 4.4% alcohol by volume in this golden, delicious can. And even the ram on the front. What else do we have here? The government warning, of course. And every drop of Shiner is brewed in Shiner, Texas at the old Spatzel Brewing Company. So, put that in the trusty Fighting Sioux, North Dakota Yeti. And Jaco got some news from Boston. University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux and the Boston University, whatever the crap they are these days. Tonight,
I believe they're the Eagles.
Oh, I thought they'd be like the Boston Bastards or something. Anyway, yeah, big score tonight from Boston. Got trying to remember what it was here, but Boston University, I think it was 4, and University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux in overtime 5. So there's a big victory, big win, as always in a non-conference matchup. So it's kind of like, having, shall we say, in the wrestling terms, having a big build-up at a giant match for really no extra purpose beyond it. It's like they've got this really big rivalry for a standard match. It's kind of what it was, because it's a non-conference match. So, I don't know, no points, whatever. Anyway, that's what I know about that. So,
all right. Well, tonight,
having?
I was going to say, tonight, Kidder, I have two beverages here. I'm drinking some cherry lime body armor on the show, mostly trying to just get some fluids in, have something a little bit different than just plain water. So drinking that. But it wouldn't be a wrestling pay-per-view show if we didn't have some fun with it. And so once again, for those, if this is your first time ever tuning in to one of our wrestling reviews, Kidder and I, for years now, have just played this little game of predictions where we make predictions about who's going to win matches, things like that. And, we kind of keep score throughout the night, and whoever wins gets bragging rights, the defunct WWE pay-per-view. And what I like to do on these shows is whenever I get a prediction wrong, I will be having a shot of butterscotch schnapps. With this, of course, because I have kids, I don't get to watch the shows live. So Kidder does all that. Kidder does all the reporting. Kidder has already locked in his predictions. I've done my best to stay away from spoilers. And I will be locking in my predictions live. And we'll see how I do. I have not followed much of anything with wrestling, so it's always a gamble in how I do. So, yeah. But that's what I'm doing tonight, Kidder.
Okay. Any other rules or anything as we start up this thing?
I don't know that there's any other real rules or such to this.
Any
I'll hopefully have. No, I did the housekeeping and cleaning earlier, so okay. I think we're good. I think we are good to get into the action. Let's start breaking down this show, and of course, we would do that by not talking about the show, but talking about the show before the show, also known as the pre-show or the kickoff.
Yeah, or 0 hour, depending on your promotion or words of choice. And tonight, the kickoff show, they actually had a match. And that's what I said. Because I sat there going, wait a minute, there's supposed to be another match. It happened on the kickoff. So I didn't watch it. Sami Zayn and JD McDonagh. This one, which most people are saying, who? Apparently, he is a friend of Finn Balor and is trying his best to get in with the Judgment Day. And with this one, I picked Sami Zayn.
I'd be one of those who would have said who when you told me this. So I'm going to also pick Sami Zayn, also because I like Sami Zayn. And hey, on a fun note, it's Sami Zayn's first real appearance in Saudi Arabia. So that's all interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, just looking at some of the information about the match, crowd was behind Sami Zayn really well. Sami Zayn did a lot of Sami Zayn's normal moves with running back and forth and punching and hopping up on top of the turnbuckles and stuff like that. And the haluva kick, of course. Bam. Blue Thunder Bomb and a 3 count after 9 minutes and 46 seconds. So Sami Zayn picking up the victory at the kickoff show in a match that I didn't think was going to be on the kickoff show. I was even up at that time, so I could have watched it.
That's the problem with this. Like, sometimes there are matches on the kickoff show, and then sometimes there are not matches on the kickoff show. You you don't know if you should watch or not. And I wish that they would just make up their mind one way or another. You know, if everybody knew, oh, there's going to be a match on the kickoff show, people would tune in because you don't want to miss one of the matches. You know, but this whole like back and forth, this time we'll have one. This time we won't. I don't like it. I'm not even the one watching it.
That's kind of what I'm saying, yeah. Kind of a joke, to be honest with you. Because if they really want people to watch and to get excited about it, have something on the kickoff show, because then you don't have to sit through just a bunch of promos getting you amped up for it as people walk into the arena. But anyway, end of the kickoff show, big video package for Roman Reigns and LA Knight. Yeah! To wrap up the kickoff show and right into the intro. This intro was actually really good in the sense they weren't using just match footage to get you all hyped up. They had a couple of quick clips here and there and there and there, but it was mostly new footage to get you amped up. It had more of an important feel to it than a lot of the other premium live events have been for quite some time. So I was very excited about that. By the way, if you're joining us, please hit the subscribe button. Please like our channel. Hit the thumbs up there on the video. And if you would like to, please subscribe. We'd appreciate it. So, first match on the card tonight. Seth freaking Rollins, your, what is he, the World Heavyweight Champion? That's right, they brought that back. And Drew McIntyre starting this one off. I bet for Seth freaking Rollins.
They've been on a real tear with Rollins, and you know what? I keep choosing his opponents, and I keep losing on this. I think I'm going to stick with Rollins on here. I'm gonna go with that. Not that Drew McIntyre is a bad opponent. And again, I haven't watched anything. I haven't heard of him doing much lately. So, yeah. I'll go with Rollins.
For a while, he was tag team partner with Matt Riddle.
That might explain why I haven't heard much.
Yep. All right. So this match, officially, 18 minutes, 20 seconds. Right away after the intros lock up. Real good start to the match. Strong start. McIntyre starts creating a little distance, drops Rollins with a shoulder block. Rollins gets up, back to his feet, starts hitting some chops because it wouldn't be a match without some chopping. McIntyre gets to the outside. Rollins catches him with a diving knee shot from the apron. McIntyre keeps fighting, hits a belly-to-belly suplex on the outside, rolls Rollins back into the ring. Rollins tries to fight back, but McIntyre catches him with a spine buster, gets a 2 count. McIntyre drags Rollins to his feet, chops him some more. Rollins retaliates with some chops of his own, tries to float over McIntyre in the corner, but McIntyre counters with a mid-air dropkick from below. McIntyre sets up for an Alabama slam, but Rollins kicks him away and hits the enziguri. Rollins connects with a running knee shot, follows up a springboard swanton bomb, and of course, the lion salt or the loin salt, depending on who, what, where, when, and what era or why. Rollins continues the assault with the Falcon Arrow 2 count once again. Now Rollins is going for the pedigree, but McIntyre tries to counter and right into the Future Shock DDT, but Rollins blocks that, counters it. McIntyre goes up to the top rope, but Rollins springs up to the top and hits a superplex. Rollins tries to roll through at a Falcon Arrow. McIntyre counters into a suplex of his own. McIntyre takes Rollins up top, but Rollins ends up floating over the top, tries to counter into a buckle bomb, but then McIntyre counters that into a future shock DDT. 2 count there. McIntyre sets up the Claymore, but Rollins, he's struggling to get to his feet. McIntyre pulls Rollins up to his feet, but then Rollins was playing possum. Rollins dumps McIntyre to the outside, then hits a suicide dive to the outside, but McIntyre regroups and slams Rollins back into the ring steps. McIntyre climbs the steps and delivers a huge side slam onto the ring apron. McIntyre then picks Rollins up, throws him back into the ring, hits the Glasgow kiss, but Rollins answers with a pedigree and another 2 count. Rollins and McIntyre start smacking each other in the middle of the ring. Rollins goes for the stomp, but McIntyre catches Rollins, slams him into the corner. McIntyre then hits 2 belly-to-belly suplexes, so that would be 2, and follows up with a neck breaker. McIntyre goes for the Claymore, but Rollins counters with a super kick. Rollins hits a stomp. McIntyre kicks out of the stomp. Rollins goes for a Phoenix splash, but McIntyre rolls out of the way, hits the Claymore. McIntyre covers Rollins. Rollins kicks out. The crowd's going nuts. McIntyre goes for another Claymore, but Rollins ducks, hits a pedigree instead. Rollins follows up with another stomp, and there's a 1, 2, and 3. And still, your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That would be Seth Rollins.
All right. That sounds like a pretty good opening match.
Yes.
I mean, just listening to you talk about it, I know, Kidder, you're putting that energy into it. It sounds like this one would have been a good one to see, and I'm glad to see I was right, and that Rollins is going to continue with the title forward. It's good.
For me, this would be either tied or is the match of the night for me. It's very close for me with another match.
That means that like the rest of the show is almost downhill from here.
I mean, with the next match, it will be.
Oh boy.
Also, want to mention one of our bonus questions, because sometimes we throw in little bonuses, such as when Brock Lesnar is on the card, we guess how many suplexes Lesnar will throw within the match. And tonight, because, well, we've forgotten almost every show since Money in the Bank, because that's how unimportant it is. But also, Damian Priest hasn't really been on the premium live events a lot, but I threw it in there tonight. Will Damian Priest cash in? I said no, which then by default, will he win, would also be a no, because it's a two-point question. Howard, thoughts?
Oh, that's a good one. And I had forgotten all about that. I'm going to say that no, he doesn't cash in. And therefore, there's no match. But I think it's got to be that way. I know they're kind of teasing some outs between him and the Judgment Day. So I think they're gonna save that cash in until they can pay off that storyline. That would be my take.
Okay. Well, Seth Rollins still celebrating in the ring. Damian Priest's music hits. He comes running down to the ring, referee in tow. He starts doing what he can to put the briefcase in, and the official's about to do the old bell ring. Suddenly, a man comes out of the crowd with a hooded sweatshirt, grabs the briefcase, starts running away. As he's running away, the hood gets pulled back, and it's revealed Sami Zayn has stolen the Money in the Bank briefcase before Damian Priest could cash it in. Sami Zayn goes to the crowd. He's holding up the briefcase, and everybody's going nuts. And Damian Priest says that he is going to kill Sami Zayn, which I don't know how laws work over in Saudi Arabia. But anyway, they go running out and through the crowd, and that's the end of that. So, next match on the card, a Fatal 5-Way match for the WWE Women's World Championship. Not to be confused with the WWE Women's Championship. That doesn't look anything like it. Your champion, Rhea Ripley, versus Raquel Gonzalez-Rodriguez versus Zoey Stark versus Shayna Baszler versus everybody's favorite worthless wrestler, Nia Jax. This match goes for 11 minutes, 5 seconds. I choose Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Judgment Day is hot enough right now. I think they're going to keep it on Rhea. I don't think they're going to take that off of her, and especially not in a 5-way like this. Especially, they really haven't built up any of these other competitors, at least in my mindset, to be at this level. So, yeah, I think Rhea is going to retain.
Okay. Also a good choice. Maybe you're just afraid to go out on a limb. I keyed. By the way, I keep seeing it jump from like 1 viewer to 3. So thank you, whoever you are who's watching, or the 2 people who continually come back and go, is it interesting yet? No. Okay, and then leave. If you could stay more than a little bit, that'd be great. Also, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up. That'd be fantastic.
Also feel free to
your comments.
I was just about to say, throw in your comments.
You continue. I need a drink.
Yeah, let me cover this here. Yeah, if you want to be part of the show, share your comments. We'll see them. They'll pop up on the screen, and we can interact. Give us your thoughts. What did you think of Crown Jewel? Who do you think is going to win this fatal 5-way? And hey, does everybody make it out of it okay? Because Nia Jax is in there, and sometimes people get hurt when she's in the ring. So all things that you can, of course, add and be part of the show. Thank you.
Thanks there, Howard.
You're welcome.
All right, so entrances. Everybody came out to the ring before Rhea, and then there was this very long and I felt awkward entrance where a bunch of people in the traditional Arabic white robes and the red and white checkered headdress, if you will, came out with these, I don't even know what they were. They kind of look like goblets, and they had some smoke coming out of them. It took way longer than I thought it would be somewhat interesting, but it was just a waste of a good minute and a half. Because they had, I don't know, 10 or 12 people come out in line each side, and then Rhea's regular music hit, and obviously it doesn't have any sound that's similar to anything that would be a traditional like Arabic sound. Also, as I'm saying Arabic, Michael Cole had to try 4 different times at the top of the show as they're introducing the show and introducing the Arabic announce team to say the word Arabic. He was having some issues saying Arabic. Arabic announce team. Like, good job, Michael Cole. Anyway, Nia Jax gets to the outside of the start there. Everybody goes after Rhea Ripley. Baszler tries to suplex Zoey Stark, but Stark goes over the top, lands on her feet. Nia Jax dumps Ripley face first onto the apron, and then Raquel Gonzalez Rodriguez levels Ripley with a huge clothesline. Ripley ends up fighting back with a low drop kick to Rodriguez and then works over Stark in the corner. Rodriguez squares off with Jax. They start slugging it out in the middle of the ring. Ripley tries to lift Jax, but can't lift her. Jax then hits a terrible Thez press and follows up with a gross running leg drop. Rodriguez goes for the big boot on Baszler, but Baszler catches a leg, locks in a leg lock, and then Baszler ties up Rodriguez, Ripley, and Jax in simultaneous submission holds on all three. That was the best spot of this entire match. Then Stark kicks her in the head to break it up. Stark goes up to the top. Ripley and Rodriguez follow her up to the top of the turnbuckle. Baszler slides under Ripley, and Rodriguez hits the double powerbomb and suplex Tower of Doom. Rodriguez connects with a corkscrew elbow drop onto Jax. Ripley and Rodriguez level each other with double big boots, and then Stark kicks both of them to the outside of the ring. Stark dives onto Ripley and Rodriguez on the outside and then rolls Ripley back into the ring. Stark hits the Z360, but Jax breaks up the pin. Rodriguez hits Jax and the Tiana Bomb as Baszler locks in the Karafuda Clutch on Ripley. Ripley breaks free, but Stark takes her up top. Rodriguez covers Baszler, but Ripley delivers a super riptide with Stark onto Raquel Rodriguez and Baszler to break up Rodriguez's pin. Ripley then covers Shayna Baszler, gets the 1, 2, and 3. And again, 11 minutes, 5 seconds. There you go, your winner. And still, WWE Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like a terrible match. Doesn't sound like doesn't sound like a great match either. I'm gonna have to go and look up this 3 simultaneous, submission spot, because that sounds interesting, and I'm just kind of curious how that's working. Like, I'm trying to picture it in my mind, so I'm gonna have to check that out at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So
with each of Shayna's legs, she had a leg of each of the competitors, and then of course with the third right in the front is another submission, and that was the best spot of the match. I really wish Nia Jax was still not around. Having her in the match was a filler. She did not contribute anything other than being there.
Yeah. I still wish that they would do a little bit more with Shayna Baszler. She had so much potential when she came up through NXT, and just haven't done much with her on the main roster, which is a shame. I think she's quite talented. So, and plus, she's from my home state of South Dakota, so love to see her get a little bit more of a push.
Yeah, well, at least they announced that she's from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All right, next on the card as we continue rolling right along, unless you had something else to say as we inch closer to the midpoint of this premium live event. Not too much to say. I see we got a couple of people watching. Hey, thanks for tuning in, and hey, make sure to feel free. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think. It's your chance to be part of the show as well. So, what do you think of these matches? If you saw the show, what did you think of the show? Let us know. And with that, Kidder, tell me, what was the next match? Well, our official 4th match of the night, counting the one that we didn't actually see. I mean, I know you didn't see it, but I certainly didn't see it either, is John Cena versus Solo Sikoa. I picked John Cena. they've been making a big deal out of John Cena not having a singles win in 5 years.
Oh, yeah, this one, it's interesting because I would like to think, that they have kind of done a nice job of protecting Solo. They've been making him, kind of the enforcer of the bloodline. So had you let that kind of, him lose some steam to John Cena, who knows how long Cena's sticking around, or, make everybody happy and do the old Hogan must pose, or in this case, Cena must win. Oh, that's a good one.
This match was 16 minutes 10 seconds.
Wow. I think it's gonna be Cena. I think they're gonna let Cena win, and let him beat Solo. I think that'll be.
Okay. We put it out there to all the people watching or listening right now. Thank you for being there. Drop your comment right now. We want to hear, is it Cena or is it Solo Sikoa? Well, Howard's locked in his pick. Here we go. Solo Sikoa rose right for the Samoan spike out of the gate, but Cena evades him, locks in a standing side headlock. Cena transitions to an arm wringer, followed by an arm bar. Then Cena ends up dumping Sikoa to the outside, slams his hand into the ring steps. Cena rolls Sikoa back into the ring, but Sikoa catches him with a headbutt. Cena starts fighting back to his feet, hits the ropes, but Sikoa levels him with a spinning back heel shot. Sikoa then drags Cena to the corner and hits the Banzai drop. The Banzai drop, as I am able to actually read my notes. Cena fights back, goes for the attitude adjustment, but Sikoa fights out, corners him with a super kick. Sikoa backs up into the corner, goes for the Samoan spike, but Cena counters into the STF. Sikoa then rolls into pinning predicament, forcing Cena to break the hold. Sikoa ties up Cena in the Tree of Woe and hits a running headbutt. Sikoa again backs up in the corner, sets up the Samoan spike, but Cena ducks, hits a shoulder tackle, one of the 5 moves of doom. Cena hits the proto-bomb on the 5-knuckle shuffle. Sikoa fights back and then gets over to the corner again for 3rd time. Cena heads up top, connects with the diving crossbody and a 2 count. Cena again goes for the attitude adjustment, but Sikoa fights out. Then Sikoa goes for the Samoan spike. Cena counters into a choke slam. Cena with the choke slam. I know, weird. Cena goes for the attitude adjustment again, but Sikoa counters into a spinning solo, gets a 2 count. Then Sikoa goes for the Samoan spike again. Cena blocks and counters into the STF. But then Sikoa makes it to the bottom rope, breaks the hold. Sikoa then goes for the Samoan spike, hits it, goes for a second one, hits it, then hits a 3rd Samoan spike, followed by a 4th one. Then Sikoa delivers a bunch more of Samoan spikes, blah, 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 and then covers him for the 1, 2, and 3. Solo Sikoa picking up the win over John Cena.
Should have gone with my gut.
Well, you know.
It's one of those things. At least it doesn't sound like it was kind of Cena's usual slow match. I'll give it that. Style. Yeah, it's one of those things where, with Cena constantly losing, it takes a little bit of the shine off beating him, It's because it's kind of one of those things, like when the greats come back, usually they win and very rarely they lose, and when they lose, it's to help build someone's momentum. But as you said, if Cena's been losing for the last 5 years, it's just now not even a thing like to beat him. But that said, I know they've been protecting Solo, and eventually when they do lose, or he does lose, it'll have to be to hopefully make somebody better. But anyway, punishment shot. Enjoy. Woo. It doesn't mix well together? Cherry lime and butterscotch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
You okay? You good?
No, I mean, I'll survive. I'll survive.
Okay. Well, they clear the ring. There's another promo and whatnot, and then I came to play. Yeah, The Miz is in Saudi Arabia. Welcome to WWE's must-see talk show, Miz TV. Comes out talking about needing to be there, and of course, big time. And then he welcomes Ibrahim Al-Hajjaj. Apparently, he is Saudi Arabia's biggest movie star, and got an award recently. Can't say that I know of him, but that's all right.
You're not up on your Saudi Arabian movie stars?
No. I apologize, I know. Well, comes out, they start talking, getting into things, and then Grayson Waller's music hits. He comes out, says that it's nice to have an actual movie star on Miz TV. Waller then calls for the Grayson Waller effect show setup. And all of a sudden, the graphics change to the Grayson Waller effect, and a bunch of minions come out with the plants and everything and the signs. He then says, basically, Miz, your show sucks. You don't even have a plant. Just have some cheap Hollywood director chairs. How's that make you feel, Howard?
Well, normally, I would stand up for director's chairs, but I recently had a falling out with one.
For you?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, Waller says that it's his show, his ring. He doesn't like being disrespected. Tells Al-Hajjaj to get out of the ring. Al-Hajjaj then squares off with Waller. Waller hits him, drops him. Miz then sets up Waller for the big kick from Al-Hajjaj, and then Miz hits Waller with the skull-crushing finale. Then Al-Hajjaj hits a people's elbow before celebrating with the Miz, and then, yes, another promo.
Does that mean the Miz is a face right now? That's weird.
Now, I guess, yeah.
That's weird. That's very weird. I don't know how I feel about that. Take one shot of butterscotch schnapps, and now the world doesn't make sense anymore.
Isn't that weird how that works?
Mm-hmm.
I can breathe again. All right. Well, speaking of making sense, Logan Paul has returned to WWE, or at least just challenging people after being in other sporting events. So he threw out an open challenge to Rey Mysterio for the United States Championship. Because Logan Paul does his, 3 to 6 month appearance, and there it is. This one, I chose Rey Mysterio to retain.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. because Logan Paul has had some pretty good matches, and I could see them giving him the win. Although now that you mentioned that there's a title on the line, I don't think they're going to make him a champion. I think they're getting more of a run out of Rey right now with him being a champion and leader of the LWO.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say it's got to be Rey.
Okay.
I'm gonna say
This match, 17 minutes 55 seconds. Need a little vocal lubrication, as I'm now finished with said beverage. Notes before the match gets underway: Logan Paul was tooling around in the desert on a dune buggy, and they recorded him earlier in the day. And then suddenly they have video of him driving the dune buggy through to the city and then into the arena, and then he drove it out, onto the stage. Yeah. Lazy Goalie's watching. Hey there, Lazy Goalie. What, drop it in the chat there. Who do you think's going to win? Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio. I did send him the match, the card tonight as well, but there's that. All right, anyway. He's saying Rey all the way. Okay, so that's the three of us. Rey Mysterio. Because, of course, Booyaka Booyaka. 619. Anyway, Logan Paul drives the dune buggy out onto the ring, apron area, and, I shouldn't even say the apron. It was up on the stage portion, which the set was really good. Got to throw that out there. Haven't thrown that out there yet about the stage and my grading of the LEDs and the pyro and stuff. We're in the top tier. This is really good. This isn't JBL Celebration good, but we're still good. Okay? Howard, do you know what I'm talking about with that? All right. Rey Mysterio comes out. LWO, some pyro, everything. Right away, Logan Paul grabs Mysterio's arm and drives his shoulder into Mysterio's shoulder. Rey Mysterio catches Logan Paul with a knee shot, follows up with a diving hurricane run out of the corner. Then Paul leapfrogs over Mysterio, dumps Mysterio to the apron. Then Rey heads up top, goes for the diving crossbody, but Logan Paul rolls through, hits a rolling fireman's carry slam at the same time. That was kind of cool because it was like an avalanche of a move from the top of the turnbuckle. Logan Paul follows that up with the lion salt, gets a 2 count. Paul drags Mysterio back to his feet, hits a rear waist lock takedown, and then Logan Paul delivers a gorilla press slam and follows up with a standing frog splash for another 2 count. Paul locks in a bear hug and then drives Mysterio into the corner. Paul charges at Mysterio in the corner, but Mysterio sidesteps him. Paul hits the post in the corner. Paul tumbles to the outside and then gets a suicide dive from Rey Mysterio. Mysterio rolls Paul back into the ring and hits a diving seated senton from the top turnbuckle. Paul then tries to get out and head over to the apron, hits a buckshot lariat. How could he do that? Mysterio fights back, locks in the crossface, but Paul makes it so the ropes, and then, of course, he's got to break the hold because there's a rope break. Mysterio fights back and tries to get a little bit here and there, going for the loin salt. Paul catches Mysterio, counters into a power slam. Paul then takes Mysterio up to the top, hits a moonsault, fall-away slam, and another 2 count. Mysterio goes for the 619, but Paul catches Mysterio's legs. Mysterio fights back with a kick over the top rope and heads up top, but then Logan Paul's magically there, climbs up under Mysterio. Mysterio spins around, hits a sunset bomb out of the corner, and then Code Red! Code Red! A member of Paul's entourage suddenly appears and hands him brass knuckles. Lazy Goalie also with the face in the chat. So thank you for that. Yeah, so at this point, here we go. Brass knuckles right there. Santos Escobar comes through the crowd, chases Paul's entourage away from the ringside because, of course, the brass knuckles are there. But oddly, Santos places the brass knuckles onto the edge of the apron. Which I'm like, why would you do that? But again, WWE knowledge, thought process here, it is what it is. So, Logan Paul gets his hands on the brass knuckles without the official seeing. Mysterio hits a 619, goes for a slingshot splash, and Paul hits him with the brass knuckles. 1, 2, and 3. Logan Paul, your new WWE U.S. champion.
Kidder, I have to ask as I pour this punishment shot. Is this, because there's some shenanigans at the end of this match, is this our DraftKings screwy finish of the night?
I almost, I wish that Rude Boy had the inside track on what actually happened because we obviously have 3 more matches left. But I'm going to call it, yes, it is the DraftKings screwy finish of the night. Not actually sponsored by DraftKings, but we'd sure love for them to sponsor the show. Please, thanks. Contact us, streamlabs.com/beerbluesbs or beerbluesbs.com.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems like to fit like that would be their screwy finish of the night. Just not because there's, just the interference, but the fact that it, when a Ray's own people put the brass knuckles back into reach, it just seems like, even just from an execution point of view, screwy. So anyway, here's my punishment shot.
Rude Boy, what do you have to say about that? Because I know how much you love those types of matches. Just got to throw that out there. And anybody else you're watching, drop us some comments. Please, throw the comments in. We want to hear from you.
Kidder, I need to get more of these right. I don't have that much schnapps left.
Okay.
And if I run out of schnapps, then I have to move to vodka. So,
well, nobody will see it coming.
Yeah. Well, actually, they will. This is a prickly pear vodka, so it's pink.
We better get to it then. Oh, hey, there we go. Logan Paul can go pound sand. Perfect. Thanks, Lazy Goalie, for that expert analysis. Howard, back to you.
Back to me. I didn't really have anything else.
No.
Yeah.
All
Anyway.
right. Well, let's go to the next match then. After yet another promo, because again, between every match on the card, we have to have a promo. Because why not, right? Next match on the card is for the WWE Women's Championship. Not to be confused with the Women's World Championship. It's Iyo Sky, your current champion, versus Bianca Belair. This match, 16 minutes, 35 seconds. And my choice, Iyo Sky.
That's a good call. That is a good call.
Of course, looking for lazy goalies promo or choice here. One is prediction.
I'm gonna actually go with Bianca. And I'm going to say this just because you've already called the screwy finish of the night in the last match. So the chance of interference happening in this match has got to be somewhat low. So therefore, I think if there's no shenanigans or big shenanigans, I think Bianca is probably the bigger wrestler and should come away with the win. That's my theory.
Okay.
So I'm going to be different. Also, we got to break this tie at some point. So somebody's got to go out on a limb. So I'm doing it.
Okay.
It could just be the schnapps talking.
It just might be. How about the I was going to say tiebreaker, but we're not tied in the choice. Just curious what Lazy Goalie had to think there too. So again, this match 16 minutes 35 seconds. The entrances not too bad. Looked like Iyo was wearing a snowmobile suit. It's kind of weird because they're in the desert. But there you go. So right away, Belair drops Iyo early, and then she goes to the outside of the ring. Belair follows her, as in Iyo Sky, to the outside of and slams her face into the ring apron. Belair then chases Sky back into the ring and gets a delayed vertical suplex. Belair muscles Sky to the corner, goes to work with some punches on top of Iyo. Belair then charges at Sky in the corner, but Sky sidesteps her. Belair hits the post. Sky follows up with a dragon screw and wrenches Belair's knee across her shoulder. Belair fights back with a suplex, but regains control with a forearm shot to the back of Belair's injured leg. Sky lands a double stomp to the chest. Heads up top again. Sky goes for the missile drop kick, but Belair evades. Sky crashes down to the mat. Belair hits a back elbow shot and a fall-away slam, followed by 3 consecutive scoop slam, scoop slam, scoop slam. That was Cody the Great's favorite move. Rest in peace to you, Cody the Great. Belair goes for yet another scoop slam, but this time Sky gets over the top. Belair regains control with a backbreaker and another 2 count there. Belair then takes Sky up to the top. Sky slides between Belair's legs to tie her up in the Tree of Woe. Sky connects with a drop kick to Belair's injured knee and then goes to the stretch muffler. Belair fights back with a belly-to-belly suplex, then slugs it out with Sky in the middle of the ring. Belair goes for a grand slam, but Sky rolls through. Sky tries to use Belair's hair to post her in the corner, but Belair instead hits Sky. Belair appears at ringside. Bayley is appearing now at ringside. She's hanging out and is yelling at Bianca and, of course, cheering on Iyo. Sky drops Belair neck first onto the top rope. Sky then dumps Belair to the outside and heads up to the top. Sky connects with a huge moonsault from the top, rolls Belair back into the ring, follows with a springboard drop kick. Belair hits the glam slam and makes the cover, but Bayley distracts the referee to prevent the 3 count. Right. Belair heads to the outside to deal with Bayley, but suddenly, out of the crowd, Sane appears, attacks Belair. Belair manages to get back in, and of course the official didn't see any of this because the official was talking with Bayley. Belair beats the referee's count of 10 to get back into the ring. Sky immediately hits a moonsault, and then a 1, 2, and 3. Your winner and still champion, Iyo Sky. After the match, Sky continued the assault on Belair, sets up a top rope diving elbow from Sane, and the two of them cheer each other in the center of the ring over the top of Bianca Belair, with Bayley looking on in shock from outside the ring. There was also a bit of a bump in the middle of the match where Iyo ran into Bayley, and so what does that mean for Damage CTRL?
Yeah. To me, that sounds like the best part of this match is the return of Kairi Sane. I know that it was pretty well known that she was coming back at some point. Mostly because she saw how Iyo Sky was being treated now by WWE, and that was enough to bring her back because, hey, that maybe things are better. So nice to see that she's back. Shame that I got this one wrong and have to take another penalty shot, but wow, I am just going downhill as this show continues.
And of course, you're watching, you're listening. Please drop your comment. What did you think about the vocalization of that match? If you obviously didn't get to see it, what did you think? What's your prediction? Who did you go for? Why? What do you think will happen to Damage Control? What's going on? Love for you to comment, subscribe. Huh?
You know, Kidder, I don't know if was just like that match not interesting me or me just trying to distract myself from the fact my leg's on fire, but I got a little artsy over here, and the Atom now has a weapon.
Why is he so angry?
I don't know. I mean, he's really just a spoon with googly eyes. You think he wouldn't have to be so angry, but yeah.
He's probably angry because people aren't sticking around to watch and people aren't commenting.
Yeah, anyway, we should get back to the actual show because I'm not sure that that's earning us any viewers.
You know, watching the statistics a month from now, just watch. It'll probably be the most watched segment.
Yeah. A
Thanks,
well-armed
YouTube.
Adam.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, second to last match. This is 11 minutes 5 seconds. It is Mathun Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest. 11 minute 5 seconds once again, and I choose Cody Rhodes. Mathun Cody Rhodes. He's going to come down to the ring.
I, too, am going to choose Cody Rhodes because it's Cody Rhodes, and I like Cody Rhodes. And listen, Damian got his briefcase stolen earlier in the show, so you know, if you're going to let that happen, you're just not going to be in the mindset to face Cody Rhodes.
Is that just because adrenaline's in your soul?
I don't know if adrenaline's in my soul, but there's at least 4 shots of schnapps in my soul right now.
So does that mean that every thought is out of control?
I know you're quoting a song, and I get it, but
Well, Howard, do it all again to get them off their feet. Crowd is here, about to blow, waiting for me to start the show. Out the curtain, lights go up, I'm home. Whoa! Okay. Well, here we go. Priest attacks Rhodes before the bell even rings, before the lights even come up, because they're doing the cool pre-match lighting now. Referee pulls them apart long enough to then ring the bell. The match is off. Rhodes takes the right of the action right to Priest. Priest flees to the outside. Rhodes follows, but Priest gets the best of him, rolls Rhodes back into the ring. Priest hits the flatliner. 2 count. Priest connects with a running back elbow shot in the corner. Rhodes fights back with a drop kick. Rhodes then catches Priest with a power slam and another 2 count. Priest rolls out of the ring, so Rhodes slams Priest's face into the ring steps. Rhodes sets up the announce table for some carnage, but that, of course, gets clothesline for Priest. Priest goes for Razor's Edge through the announce table, but Rhodes gets over the top, shoves Priest into the ring post instead. Rhodes follows up with the suicide dive, sets up Priest for the crossroads through the announce table, but Priest counters, hits the reckoning on the announce table, which, of course, does not collapse. Surprisingly, not the German announce table. The action returns to the ring. Cody Rhodes gets the crossroads. Crossroads. Finn Balor then comes down toward the ring, distracts the referee, and suddenly JD McDonagh's there and attacks Rhodes. Rhodes tosses McDonagh out of the ring, but still gives Priest the opportunity to hit Rhodes with a choke slam. Then suddenly, Dominic Mysterio makes his way to the ringside with a chair, but then out of nowhere, Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, comes from the crowd, hits super kick on Balor, hits super kick on Mysterio. Mysterio. I'm thinking suddenly had flashback like we were in the wrong match again for a second, and hits a super kick on JD McDonagh, chases him to the back. Suddenly, back into the ring. Rhodes goes for crossroad. Priest ends up blocking. Rhodes hits the top rope. Cody Cutter follows up by the three amigos of the three consecutive Cody Rhodes crossroads for the 3 count. Lots of 3 Rhodes cross Cody, etc. Cody Rhodes defeats Damian Priest with a 1, 2, and 3 after 11 minutes, 5 seconds.
Well, that sounds like quite the match. Have you noticed, Kid, or at least I'm noticing, there's a lot of people coming in from the crowd on this one, like this whole show. Like, that's like the big gimmick of this show. It's like people are coming in from the crowd.
Terrible security, apparently, in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they should hire this guy.
No, he just looks drunk now.
Well, he didn't want me to drink alone, so.
What am I? Chopped liver googly eyes? What?
I mean,
what is this, gabagool?
It's just humor. It's late. My leg hurts. This is the best you're getting out of me right now.
We need lazy goalie to get us a little bit of something else on the uptick here. Pull us out of this desperation.
And anyway, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised by how this match went. I think you let Cody have the win. But I do realize the error of my way, Kidder, because I know what the last match is, and I have a feeling I know, like, I may be in trouble with this last match. I may be the loser tonight. I don't know that I can pull this off, but we'll see.
Well,
I have an idea.
You took it all away. I give it all away. Can't take my freedom. Here's to change the game. A banner made of pain. I built my kingdom. Now you bowed at me. You took my dreams, but not my name. You'll follow me until the end. I am my kingdom. L.A. Knight, yeah, versus Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. This match, 20 minutes, 5 seconds in length. I, by necessity, choose Roman Reigns. All right.
I figured you were going to go with Roman Reigns because that's kind of like the safe bet. Kidder, I'm going to go out on a limb because I have a chance to tie. So, I think because LA Knight has been hot. I mean, he's been leading the WWE in merch sales for the past 4 months. You don't want to screw this up. You want to keep that fire hot. You want to keep him rising up. You want to keep him going. And so for that reason, I think he's winning the match, but because of some shenanigans like a DQ, he's not getting the title. But he's still coming out on top. So I'm choosing L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
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 There we go. Bold prediction.
Waiting for Rude Boy to drop in his sense in the stream. But we're going to get you the analysis that you need. Right away, LA Knight goes after Roman Reigns right after the bell rings. Reigns levels LA Knight with back elbow shot. Reigns dumps Knight to the apron. Knight slapping Reigns' neck off the top rope, but then Knight climbs back into the ring, hits a power slam, and suddenly there's Paul Heyman distracting LA Knight as Reigns rolls out of the ring. Knight delivers an elbow shot to Reigns on the apron, connects with a diving clothesline off the apron. Knight sets up the announce table for absolute carnage, but Reigns drops Knight onto the ring steps instead. Reigns whips Knight shoulder first into the ring steps again, rolls him back into the ring. Then Reigns whips Knight to the corner and follows with a suplex. Reigns hits the ropes and levels Knight with a clothesline and gets a 2. Reigns hits a clothesline in the corner, but Knight finally starts fighting back, and an elbow shot and a DDT from the top. Knight and Reigns slug it out in the middle of the ring. Knight takes control with a side Russian leg sweep, a la my characters back in SmackDown Here Comes the Pain 2, or whatever it was. Beating that funny guy. Anyway, Knight works over Reigns with a volley of shoulder shots to the gut in the corner, and then takes Reigns up top. Knight's setting up for a superplex, but Reigns punches Knight back down to the mat. Knight leaps up from the mat to the top rope, hits a superplex anyway. Then, suddenly, here's Solo Sikoa on the stage. Distracts the referee as Jimmy Uso comes through the crowd, pulls Reigns out of the ring. Reigns regroups and heads back into the ring and spears LA Knight, but Knight kicks out at 2. Reigns drags Knight back to his feet, locks in a front face lock. Knight fights back to his feet, muscles Reigns into the corner, but Reigns goes right back for the front face lock again. Knight breaks free and hits the BFT, a blunt force trauma. And then there's Jimmy Uso putting Reigns' feet onto the ropes, making the referee break the count because it's rope break. Knight heads to the outside, bounces Jimmy's face off the announce table. Reigns comes over and tries to save Uso, but Knight smashes Reigns' face off the announce table instead. Knight drives Uso through the announce table, but Reigns spears Knight through the shoddily connected barricade. Seriously, he touched it right before the spot, and I'm like, he's going through the barricade. What happened? Through the barricade. You could see it moving. It's just terrible. Anyway, Knight heads back to the ring after getting up. Reigns catches him with yet another spear and a 1, 2, and 3. Roman Reigns picking up a clean win. Not quite. Over LA Knight. Yeah! 20 minutes, 5 seconds. That putting a wrap on that match.
Cheers.
There you go. Celebrating once again.
I mean, it sounds like it was a good match. It sounds like
Knight pulled a lot of quality spots out of Roman Reigns, because you know how much I hate Roman Reigns matches. They're super slow, they're super boring, and this was one of the best Roman Reigns matches I've seen since Roman Reigns was beaten up by Brock Lesnar.
There wasn't quite a full shot left in the bottle, so might as well just finish off the bottle. I would agree, Kidder. Just from your description, you know, I think I enjoy Roman Reigns matches just a slight bit more than you do, but I will agree they do start off incredibly slow. So I was glad that this one got off to a very fiery note, and it sounds like the action and such was fairly intense kind of throughout. So I'm glad to hear it. I'm guessing because you hinted at it when we did the Seth Rollins match that there was another match tied for your match of the night. I'm going to guess it was this one. Am I correct on this? This was your other match of the night?
Yes, because of L.A. Knight. Yeah. A lot of people hating on L.A. Knight because they're saying that he's a kind of a copy and paste mix mash between Stone Cold and The Rock. While I can see him pulling elements from those people, I think he is also one of the bigger stars and more interesting stars that WWE has right now.
I would put it this way. Are there some similarities to those characters? Sure. But that said, think about the roster. Is there anybody else on the roster who is anywhere near like that sort of performance? There's not. There's clearly a hole in the roster for somebody who's got the right kind of charisma to do it and to fill that gap. I think that's why he's hot right now. Yeah. He's charismatic.
Yeah. Sorry.
He gives great promos. Yeah, does he got some elements of the Rock and Austin? Sure. But that said, it's like he took the best pieces. It's not in any way, in any of the things I've seen with him, was there anything that makes me go, well, he's just copying The Rock? There's nothing that makes me go, well, he's just copying Austin. It's he's picked up. I'd put it this way: he's picked up like maybe a little bit of the essence of what made those guys great and what made them popular, and is kind of pulled those in and shaped them a little bit. But I wouldn't say that he is, he's not a ripoff, if that makes sense. That'd be my take on it.
Sure.
So I'm sad though that he loses clean, because that ends his chance at the title. And now what do you do with him? And
I guess I should say, it's not specifically clean due to all the interference and shenanigans happening, but it was by pinfall, so clean.
Yeah. I'm just saying though, like, what do you do next with him? That's the question. And I don't know what you would do there. So
yeah. Well, guess we'll have to see what happens on SmackDown, if it actually records again this week, and go from there.
Yeah. So Kidder, your overall thoughts on the show. What say you? What's the rating? How is it? Any last thoughts as we kind of start to wrap this thing up?
Well, even though I woke up right before the show, essentially right before, I didn't find myself falling asleep. And it wasn't like most of the matches I was invested in. The two women's matches, I didn't typically or really care for them, I guess. Like in the interest sort of way. So found myself scrolling a little bit on the phone, seeing what's happening out there and trying to potentially promote our show and whatnot for now. But I love I need to mention about the graphics, because I love the graphics, right? You know how much I enjoy watching the graphics, and checking out the lower thirds and everything. They got the 3D effects with the crown and everything, like a big castle and stuff. The set was huge, cool, lots of lasers, lots of special effects lighting, lots of pyro. But whoever made their moving background for behind the transition, so kind of like what you see here with the crown spinning around, they weren't using that for this show specifically, okay? That was kind of for the lower thirds. It would come up and then they would leave. But for the replays, it was more of a grandiose shot spinning around, and then the boxes would come in, right, for the replay. Where I'm going with this, whoever made their background did not check the looping on it. Because most of it worked as a smooth loop, but the center part, I shouldn't even say the center, but the second tier, as it's spinning around, would glitch because they didn't make it, the next frame in line. So you'd get to here and then burp, every time. Burp. And I noticed it. Super distracting to me every time. I'm like, I wish I hadn't seen that because it was pissing me off.
Yeah. I can understand that. I hate when you catch those little production mistakes and you're like, oh, yeah. Kidder, I'll say this sounded like this was a decent show. Maybe like a B level show. For those who haven't been keeping score, our winners for tonight, Kidder. As I said, I didn't really stand a chance of winning this. I come in second place with 5. You, Kidder, you win bragging rights off of Crown Jewel with 7 correct predictions. So kudos, sir, on being the winner tonight. This continues your lead, Kidder. You have won the last 3 pay-per-views.
Cool. Here.
So
I know you probably can't see it, but right here. It's moving, it's moving. Glitch. I hate it. I hate it so much. Why did you do that? Why? Gosh. Anyway.
Well, on that highly disappointing note, Kidder, we've been talking for quite a while. Well, you've been talking for quite a while, and as is tradition on our wrestling reviews, since you do all the talking during the show, I get to try my hand at cheap plugs, and this is after I'm not gonna lie, I've lost track of how many shots and schnapps I've had. So we'll see how well I do, as Kidder probably laughs at me as I do this. So enjoy, people. Here comes the comedy bit. But you can find us and all things Beer, Blues, and BS at our homepage, our home in cyberspace, beerbluesbs.com.
Yeah,
that's right. You can find all of our social media links. You can find other places to see the show. It's all there. You can even buy us a beer. That's right. It's our fun little way that you can support the show, get a comment in, and, get a little cheers and special graphic when you do. That is at beerbluesbs.com. Buy us a beer. And, of course, it's really just a donation button. You can put down any amounts you like, but we appreciate it all the same and such. Also at beerbluesbs.com, we have merch. That's right. Maybe you want a premium t-shirt to show your support for a premium live event. We got those. Maybe you want a pint glass, in case the shot glass is just not enough for you. We have those too. A variety of slogans, some funny, some serious, all good. So make sure you do check out the merch store. We also have a merch store over on Streamlabs. So the Streamlabs
/beerbluesbs.
Yes, there we go. I don't tend to pitch that one quite as often. We have a merch store there. You can pick up some merch there, but also there you can subscribe to the show. Maybe you want to donate a little bit here. Keep it as a monthly donation and just show us a little bit of love. Hey, we'll appreciate it. You can do that over there. So it's a great way to help out. Two guys just trying to host a fun podcast to help you relax and get away from, all of your troubles. So there's all of that. Now, let's get to where you can find the show besides our homepage. We are, of course, on social media. You can find us at Facebook. Just search for Beer Blues NBS. There you'll find not just our show. Sometimes you'll find little updates about things that are going on and other little surprises. So make sure you check that out. We are on the Instagram, the gram, as I think the cool kids say. I don't know. I'm not one of the cool kids. Anyway, you can find us there as well. Hey, did you like this video version? I'm hoping you did. If you're watching it, you probably are watching it on youtube.com. Make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell thingy, and, that way you can keep up with all of our episodes here on Beer Blues and BS. It's a great way to find it. Also, you may also have watched this on Twitch, and we don't often appear on Twitch, but we do sometimes. And you can always check us out over there. Sometimes the kidder gets together with the rude boy and they do a little gaming. So it's, always a good thing. Make sure you're following so that you catch those. Tomorrow, breaking news, people. Kidder, Kyle, streaming. I don't know what time. They'll have to fill me in on that. But
we don't know either.
but it's happening
right now.
So make sure you get over to Twitch. Make sure that you follow so that you can catch all that action. If you don't like the video version, maybe you don't want to see our happy smiling faces, or maybe, hey, you're on a road trip. That's okay. We also do an audio version of the show. And so any of the major audio podcasting services, Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, all of those you can find, you can subscribe, and you can take us with you. And we appreciate you and every one of you who does so. And with that, I think I got all the cheap plugs. I think I got them all in there. And that means, Kidder, it's time to wrap up the show. Any final thoughts from you, sir?
Man, the show was pretty good. You see this, except for this right there. That stupid glitch. I hate that. There's Grayson Waller. I know you haven't really been able to watch here and have a chance to watch the actual clip replays and the quick version of the show and the legit version. But there's the plants. They're coming in. Yeah. As you can see, lots of stuff happening. Final thoughts. They really need to dial these back. There's too many still. As in overall. Survivor Series War Games is the next one. And yes, that'll be in about a month. Something like that. So that's that's coming up. And I'm kind of bothered by that as well because it's one of the big four, and I don't want the War Games to have to be part of Survivor Series. They could have made that a separate pay-per-view or premium live event. Gotten rid of, Fastlane. That one doesn't make sense. War Games makes sense. And is less of a gimmick, right? Yeah, I suppose because you have the teams, it's a Survivor Series-esque thing. But maybe you just pull out the War Games thing when you have two big factions that need to take on each other. Like the Bloodline and Judgment Day. Use it as, like a hardcore match, right? Because kind of is. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. Maybe our viewers or listeners are. Drop it in the comments because we want to hear from you as well. What do you think about War Games? What do you think? Oh, here's the dune buggy thing. Logan Paul's cruising in, talking to himself on the street. And then the augmented reality Falcon. Wade Barrett making fun of Michael Cole. One of the better things of the show tonight. That was good. There you go. Look, see a big LED wall. Lights and lasers and everything. This part, I don't know. Nah. It's kind of like when they get dropped off on the stage, but a fancy vehicle or something, like whatever. But it was pretty good. So there's a lot of good parts and bad parts. Kind of makes it overall, kind of decent. I'll give this one solid 4.002 out of 5.
All right.
It's very solid. I don't know. And then this. Giving it to a part-time wrestler. Like, all right. At least he's kind of a decent wrestler. He can do things that other people can't. So I'll give him that. And with his however many million followers, and here the obligatory pose with the Prime drink, it brings a lot more viewership, a lot of eyeballs to WWE, and I guess that's what they need right now, more people to be introduced. There's Kairi Sane. She whipped Bianca with her hair. I forgot to mention that. And she is kind of a ghost now with the white face paint. They also said something about her being the pirate wrestler, something or other. Her old pirate booty ways. I don't know. Those are a lot of final thoughts, as I'm kind of trying to stall through the rest of this.
Damn it, man! I'd like to go to bed.
Yeah, sleep is good.
Yeah. Especially those of us who have to get up in the morning. So as much as Kidder would like for us to, keep going, so that, the highlight thing goes, I need to say the last three things, which is, hey, he's the man, the myth, the legend, the marketer. I'm Howard Blues. Thank you for joining us, and keep your glass at least half full. Free beer tomorrow, so make sure you check into the stream for free beer, and we'll catch you all down that sand dune covered Tuscan highway. Good night, everybody.